The Bride of the Cursed Lake, Chapter 6, Reflections of Madness, Part 3. The streets swallowed me whole. Rain wet and breathless, I rushed through the tangled mist like a madman chasing ghosts. The cobbled roads were slick with memory and desperate hope. I was sure I'd seen her, seen the flash of pale hair, a body moving toward the water, toward the place she'd gone. But she was always gone before I could get there, before I could catch up. My boots struck the stones with wild insistence, slipping, pounding, a frantic rhythm that even the village seemed to shrink from. The echo of it chased me through narrow alleys, blind corners, my own panic ringing back like cruel and mocking laughter. But she was there, wasn't she? She had to be there. I saw her. My voice ripped ragged through the fog, called her name with its last uncertain breath. Called her again and again. Anna. But the streets only fed me back my own breaking. The streets only pulled me deeper. She was there, a blur of white in the dying light, a shiver of movement just ahead. The silhouette drew me on, always around the next bend, always just beyond reach. I stumbled, skidded, pushed myself forward, my mind too tight with her to care about falling, to care about anything but the soundless promise of her shadow. It was pulling me into the narrow veins of the village, a labyrinth of wet stone and tangled alleys, a place where even the walls turned their faces away. And still, I chased, and still, she led. My lungs ached, and the air clung heavy and cold, but I could not stop, would not stop. The ghost thread of her pulled me on, winding me deep into the fog, deep into the waiting gray of the night. The light was thinning into dusk, bleeding slow and pale through the mist. I couldn't tell how long I'd been running, only that she was always just ahead, and the night was waiting for me at the lake. I pushed harder, faster, felt the whole town bend against me, conspiring to keep her from my grasp. A body in a window, too pale to be real. Curtains fluttering shut. A glimpse of something. A face. Then nothing. Every stride like running through mud. Every movement aching with doubt and certainty. What if she was only a ghost? What if she wasn't? I forced the thoughts from my mind, let the desperate drumbeat of my feet pound them away, pushed into the mist, into the tangle, into the hollow ache where her shadow had been, where her shadow had never been. The village curled around me, a looping, circling thing. I ran through the silence, through the mist-thick air, not even sure where I was, but certain of one thing. My feet knew the way. They brought me here every evening. They took me to the lake, to the last place I had seen her. And the water always waited, always watched. I stumbled to the shore, breath ragged, and felt the earth give under me as though it too was weary. The lake stretched out before me, still and knowing. The surface was glass, was fog, was memory. She was gone. The woman, the ghost, the promise, whatever she was, had vanished, leaving me to my own haunted echo, my own splintered hope. I doubled over, let the ache of it press through me, felt the endless cycle pull me in, out, in again. I stayed there, time unraveling like thread, until I was sure I heard it. Her voice, her soft and silent breath rising from the water, whispering my name. The sound was impossible, a tender wound that opened and healed all at once. I went to it. I went to her. My steps were slow at first, then urgent, carrying me toward the water, into the water. The cold bit at my ankles, at my mind, but I couldn't stop, wouldn't. Each step, each lapping wave drew me deeper, until my skin went numb, and my senses with it. Her voice, and the aching need of it. The lake stretched before me into forever, and I was ready to follow. I was ready. The water was everywhere now, drowning out the world, drowning out the doubt. A white shape moved toward me, gliding silent, too close, too knowing. A swan, a ghost, a soul adrift, its eyes fixed on mine. I reached for it, whispering Anna's name with what hope I had left. My voice cracked like ice, like breaking, but the swan didn't falter. Its neck arched, perfect and pure. Then it was gone, a dive beneath the surface, a shadow and a ripple, a shiver and a memory. The water stilled, but the hope of it didn't die. I lifted my eyes from the widening rings, let my gaze drift to the opposite shore. The mist curled low, blurred the line between worlds, between loss and longing. But through it, through the breathless distance, she was there. Anna, pale and soft as a half-formed dream. Her body was light, air, and she moved with a grace that was like nothing on earth. She was feeding the water. Feeding what? No birds, no life, nothing but my own disbelief. She stood like a ghost, scattering memory into the lake, and I could only watch. I could only feel my heart push toward her. Anna. My voice, a crack in the night, split me wide. She didn't move, didn't turn. Her silence was a thing I couldn't bear, and my feet were already wading deeper, driving me toward her. Her stillness, her impossible truth. My whole world was her. Was this the madness of it all? The perfect, brutal grief of her not answering. I was waist deep now, half out of myself with need. Her name tore from my throat, from my soul. Anna. But before it reached her, before it became something real, I felt the grip, strong, sudden, pulling me back to shore, back to sense, back to madness without her. An old, wiry hand clamped onto my shoulder and jerked me to myself. The shock of it spun my mind, my body, my refusal to let her go. The old man's voice came low, came close. I heard the weight of his years in every word, the sorrow, the bitter knowledge. The waters rising tonight. I could feel him holding me to this world. His words not quite curses, but not far from them. She's not there, son. What you're seeing isn't real. Jenkins, the old man, the only soul in the village who spoke of these things, of the lake, of the curse. I struggled, shoved at him, swore and broke, but his grip was stronger than my belief, stronger than me. He pulled me hard until the water gave up its claim, until the shore remembered my name, until I stood, breathless, and saw the truth again. She was gone. Where Anna had stood, the mist moved in slow and silent ribbons, like dancers with no one to dance for. My eyes strained against it, searched the space I wanted her to be, the place she was or wasn't or could have been. Nothing. The absence of her, a thing I should have known by now, a thing I wore like a second skin, wrapped me whole, pressed in on all sides, and the lake, and the swans, and the old man all watched as it swallowed me down. They watched as I collapsed to my knees, as I let the night close in. The sky bled to black, and I felt it all stretch out before me, endless. Each moment a small eternity of hope, then loss, then nothing at all.